Hello, I'm going to show you how to use a LennyTwin, so LennyTwin, to carry two babies. So if you're here, congratulations on your twin. Good luck for the rest. Anyway, so here we go. So you can separate it and use it as two single hip carriers, which is really great. So you can both, if you have two people in your family, you can both use one for each child, or you can attach them together and carry one baby on each side. The first thing you want to do is to adjust the base and the height, so it's fully adjustable. You can see here you've got numbers here, so you can just make sure that each side is the same, and you basically gonna make it as wide as narrow as you need. So you're supporting baby from knee to knee, so this bit will be roughly at the knee pit. So I'll set up this one for one of my dolls, and I've set up the height just about as well. You can make the height higher or lower by loosening this bit. You want ideally this part to be in the nape of the neck. So we're going to set up this one. So about about 3 months old dolls. This works, I find, when the babies have already a little bit of head control. True newborns, you need to try and see, especially if you have small babies, I would really go to your sling library and see if that fits with them, and make sure that baby is safe. So we're going to attach the waist belts. So you're going to go like that. So grab them. I'm going to clip them together. So the buckle is hiding in here. And I'm going to bring the elastic band over. So I'm going to pop the elastic band over. So we've clipped here. Okay. And just to say that once this is all set up, you don't have to do that every time. And the reason also why you have numbers here is also to show you to tell, because you can move the pouches around, so that will adapt to the size of your body and your baby's bodies. So I'm going to go and clip this together. Again, get that little elastic band out. It's just an extra safety. Clip, pop, put that over, and we're just going to tighten everything. So you can either tighten from the front, so you loosen this a little bit, and when you tighten you just pull like that, or from the back, or from each side, whatever works for you. You can see what works, whatever is easiest. Always make sure it's easy, especially with twins. So the webbing is very, very, very long, so make sure you keep it nicely tidied away with the elastic band like that, because otherwise you'll be dangling and you might get trapped, or you might step on it, so it doesn't look very nice. So just keep it nicely tucked away like that, and then basically this is how it works. You've got two pouches on each side, and a spreadable shoulder like that. So that's one side, and the other side is here. Some people like to have both patches ready and then stick baby in, or some people like to put one baby in, put the pouch over, slide the baby. It's just totally up to you. Do whatever works for you, okay? In terms of tightening system, we can pull from here. Again, very long webbing, so I've tied it away, but feel free to unroll it. You can pull from here, or you can pull and loosen from here. I find it's easier to just have this part as tight as possible, and then just do my adjustments from here. See what works for you. So here my back one, I'm going to tighten as much as possible and get the other pouch ready. So what you want ideally, especially at the end, is this to be spread as much as possible, so you've got lots of support and it's just not in a way. I just like to just have it quite as spread and ready as possible, and then loosen the front bit, and I'm just slide my babies in. So when it comes to putting two babies in one sling, it can take a little bit of practice. They can get a little bit annoyed sometimes, so just take your time. I find often with twin parents, they have a baby's a little bit calmer and likes to go in a sling, and one that gets a bit more annoyed. Just see who you want to start with. I usually start with the one who gets more annoyed and then the calmer baby after. So grab your baby, and then you're gonna bring your baby nice and high on your shoulder, take your time, and then gonna grab the legs, go through the pocket pass, leg through, and then really take your time. Support your baby's head and let the bum sit in a really nice deep seat, a little bit over the waist belt, arms in, especially if they don't have head control. Make sure you keep those arms in, and the top of the panel is at the nape of the neck. Check out the legs so they're not wonky. It's a bit tricky sometimes, so really make sure the knees are at the same height, and you can tighten at this point if you want to. If you haven't adjusted this quite right away, you can just move it around so that the panel doesn't cover the face, but this is right in the nape of the neck. And then I'm going to bring the other baby in. So take your time. This is the tricky part. So some people like to go on that shoulder, some people like to go opposite. Just see what works for you. Use your forearm to support baby. It really helps. So you've got lots of control. I find it's easier to go on that side, but see what works for you. Arm through, and then again leg through, and let that bum sit in a nice deep seat. Always have arms towards the face, like that. And there we are, almost done. I'm going to first spread my shoulder, and then I'm going to retighten. So when you spread the shoulder, it makes it tighter. Just something to remember, like that. Makes it nice and comfy. And then I'm just going to tighten as much as I need until it feels nice and snug. So it looks kind of like that. Pop, pop. Safety, very important. Always, for all babies in all sling, make sure that the sling is on tight. So you tighten here, spread, tighten from your back if you feel you need a little bit more support, and make sure your waist belt is nice and high as you can. So that baby are here close enough to kiss the top of the head, and they are resting on the hard part of your chest and not on your breast if you are female. So just be careful, make sure that baby is well supported, and that you can always see baby's airways. So if the panel is too high, feel free to wriggle it a bit. Make sure that it's not covering baby's face. Airways should be always clear and visible, and we should always be able to monitor baby's airways at all times. And that, especially when baby is asleep, that you can always fit your fingers between the chin and chest. So babies are well supported, the airways are clear. This, sometimes you find your baby slumping, especially with twins. We can have a tendency to see that a lot. Make sure they're really sitting in a deep seat, bum lower than the knees at the same height, and pop their hands towards their face as well. That can help them support their chest, I find. And always readjust your shoulders. They do tend to move around a little bit, so just make sure you're always comfortable and nice and tight, and that the spines are well supported. So we don't have curled up baby, but we don't have babies that are completely straight. The beauty of this carrot, and I really love it, is that it's made of woven wrap, so it's always soft and always gives the perfect support without being too hard or too soft. I think it gives really nice support. You need to make sure all of that when you have your babies in. When you feel like you can try, if you're breastfeeding, you can try breastfeeding it. What you want to do here is loosen your waist belt, and basically bring baby as low as possible, and latch. Make sure you can always see baby's airways, and you're supporting the necks the whole time, but you have to support baby's necks, especially if they don't have head control, sorry. Very important. If you have very large breasts, that might not work very well. If you are bottle feeding, you can try to do one at a time. So again, loosen a little bit so baby's nice and low, and you can use the carrot to give you a little bit of support. Make sure you're not covering babies on the baby's face. Watch out, and then you can try and feed like that, and then vice versa. Once you are done feeding, make sure you always retighten, and you do all your safety check. Very, very important. Taking babies out, super simple. If one is asleep, the beauty of this carrier is that you can just take one out, and the other one can just stay in it. So you just loosen. So remember, it's opposite side. just loosen a little bit from here, and then you can just very gently, just make sure you don't squash your other baby, lift baby out, and the baby's the same, up, lift, like that, and you are ready to go. As they grow, all you need to do is like make this a little bit taller, so it grows gradually on each side, and then also in a base wider. If you find your babies are too wide apart, move the pouches a little bit closer to the buckle here. Depending on your body shape, you're gonna have to change that maybe as they grow as well, because as they get bigger, you don't want them, there needs to be like banging all the time, so you might want to like separate them a little bit. And when they're much bigger, you might want to experiment with front and back carry, but wait until they have full head control and they can sit and eat. I hope that helps. Take your time, do lots and lots of practice. Do feel free to get somebody to give you a hand, but you need to learn to do that by yourself eventually. And go to your sling library. Oh, love to show you how that works. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.